A 6-year-old boy who lives in a world of overwhelming volume walked into an animal shelter on a loud Tuesday morning. He didn't speak. He hadn't spoken a word in nearly 3 years, not because he couldn't, but because the world was simply too much to process. His name is Leo. He is on the severe end of the autism spectrum. To Leo, a door shutting sounds like a gunshot. A dog barking sounds like a siren. He communicates only through silence, carrying a weight that nobody else can see. While Leo struggled to survive in a noisy world, a massive dog named Barnaby was sitting in Kennel 8, struggling to be understood. Barnaby was a 120-pound Bernese Mountain Dog mix, and he was officially on the shelter's unadoptable list. He had been adopted and returned 3 separate times in the last 6 months. Every single family had the exact same complaint. They said Barnaby was lazy, stubborn, and completely lacked manners. Whenever people tried to walk him, he would just sit down. If kids tried to play with him, he would ignore their toys and throw his massive, heavy body against their legs, sometimes knocking them over entirely. People thought he was broken. But Barnaby wasn't broken. He wasn't lazy, and he wasn't trying to knock people over. He was just desperately waiting for someone who needed what he had to give. On that Tuesday morning, Leo's special education class began their tour of the kennel hallway. For a boy like Leo, an animal shelter is a nightmare. The acoustics of the concrete walls amplify every bark, the metallic clanging of the cage doors echoing in the tight space. Within 3 minutes, the sensory overload became too much for the 6-year-old to bear. Leo collapsed. Right in the middle of the main hallway, he dropped to the hard linoleum floor. He curled into a tight ball, his knees pulled to his chest, screaming and rocking violently. The teachers panicked, trying to comfort him, but touching him only made it worse. And that is when Barnaby saw him. The 120-pound dog, who everyone thought was lazy and unresponsive, suddenly snapped to attention. His ears went back, his posture stiffened. Before the shelter worker could react, Barnaby pulled on the leash with incredible force. He ripped the leash from her hands and power-walked straight toward the screaming boy. The teachers gasped, terrified that this massive animal was going to attack the vulnerable child. They yelled for the dog to stop, but Barnaby ignored them completely. He did exactly what got him returned 3 times. He carefully, deliberately lowered his massive body and laid completely flat across Leo's lap and chest. What happened next was caught on a volunteer's phone. The second Barnaby's 120-pound weight settled across Leo, the screaming stopped, instantly. Leo's breathing slowed, his trembling hands uncurled. The deep, heavy pressure of the dog acted like an anchor, pulling his overwhelmed nervous system back to reality. Sarah ran to the shelter office and dug through the dusty filing cabinets. She found Barnaby's original intake paperwork from 8 months ago. She looked at the previous owner's information and tears welled in her eyes. Barnaby wasn't lazy. He wasn't stubborn. His previous owner was an 18-year-old boy with severe autism who had tragically passed away. Barnaby wasn't trying to knock people over. He was a highly trained deep-pressure therapy dog. For 8 months, he had been trying to do his job, offering his heavy, calming weight to families, and they all just yelled at him to get off. He had spent nearly a year in a loud, scary place, waiting for someone whose nervous system spoke his language. Leo's parents arrived an hour later. When they saw their son sitting peacefully on the loud kennel floor, anchored by a giant dog, they didn't even need to discuss it. Barnaby went home with Leo that afternoon. Today, he sleeps at the foot of Leo's bed. He walks with him to school. And whenever the world gets too loud, Barnaby is already there, ready to take the weight of the world off a little boy's shoulders. Because some dogs aren't stubborn. They're just waiting for the right person to tell them they're